Good afternoon once again, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 822, and as some of you might know from watching my live streams, I have been recently reading Knife by Salman Rushdie, which is one of his non-fiction books. And this one my father read as well. I took this one from his shelves after all, and it is very sparingly annotated by him, but one of the passages apparently struck us both. He marked it as magical realism in the margin over there. So in this video, I am going to be reading you this passage and sharing with you some of my thoughts with regard to magical realism or magic realism, because this was also one of the main themes in my dissertation during my undergrad, the concept of immersion and how reality and fiction can merge together quite well in certain situations, especially for people with a vivid, very, very vivid imagination, like mine, for instance, or my father's as well. And Salman Rushdie on pages 62 and 63 of this edition says, "But for half a century I, who believed in science and reason, who had no time for gods and goddesses, had been writing books in which the laws of science were often subverted, and people were telepaths, or turned into murderous beasts at night, or fell 30,000 feet from an airplane and lived and actually grew horns. Books in which a man aged twice as fast as normal, or in which a man began to float just half an inch off the surface of the earth, or in which a woman lived to be 247 years old. What had I been up to for 50 years? I wanted to say, I believe that art is a waking dream, and that imagination can bridge the gulf between dreams and reality and allow us to understand the real in new ways by seeing it through the lens of the unreal. No, I don't believe in miracles, but yes, my books do. And to use Whitman's formulation, do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I don't believe in miracles, but my survival is miraculous. Okay then, so be it. The reality of my books, oh, call it magic realism if you must, is now the actual reality in which I'm living. Maybe my books had been building that bridge for decades, and now the miraculous could cross it. The magic had become realism. Maybe my books saved my life. I sounded delirious even to myself. I tried to pull myself together. Let's record something, I said, and this passage struck me as well, and apparently it did my father as well, for several reasons, because both of us tend to be rather crazy during times, and it's hard for the both of us to distinguish fiction from reality sometimes, and emotions are also difficult. I'll speak for myself rather than reeling my father into this as well, but emotions tend to be so difficult because we have experienced so many of them that they become second nature over how we perceive things and how we might experience different outcomes in our minds. To us, everything has already happened. We have already experienced everything, so nothing comes as new to us. Nothing seems to be original or unexpected. Nothing comes as a surprise or a shock because in our minds we have lived so many realities already, so many different outcomes. I at least have perceived so many, and nothing really strikes that much of a chord with me in the terms of originality or a renaissance, if you will, in my mind. I mean, I am still 22 years old. I hope that there is much more for me to learn out there. It's not about memorizing things and knowing plenty. It's about imagining things and different outcomes, putting things together in ways which other people might not have thought of before, which is also one of the reasons why humor and comedy is something which I love passionately, and I try to put smiles on people's faces as often as I can. And this whole magical realism thing, or magic realism, blending fiction with reality, is also very vivid in, for instance, The Sandman by Neil Gaiman, where dreams play a massive role. And dreams are one of the many ways in which humanity can come in touch with fiction, where everything feels so lucid, so real sometimes. And yeah, people seem to underestimate dreaming quite a lot. And I feel as though dreaming is extremely, extremely valuable. And people just underestimate it. They wake up from a nap having dreamt a lot and don't write anything about it. I, for one, plan on also starting to keep a record, keep a track of my dreams more clearly, because some of those thoughts are absolutely brilliant. And a few days go by, sometimes I haven't written them or spoken about them, and I regret it entirely. But yeah, this whole magic realism thing, it could keep us alive, honestly. All those outcomes, all those possibilities, they give us hope for the future. They tell us that anything is possible, even in times of distress, in times when we might feel hopeless or like nothing better could come out of a horrible situation. But I think that is all I had to say about this passage from Knife by Salman Rushdie. I am about halfway through with this book. I am soon done with part one. I might just make a video about part one as well, because Rushdie speaks a lot about his family, the experience of being stabbed and almost passing away, recovering from his injuries, the embarrassment and humiliation at hospital, the intentions of the killer, how literature can really condemn someone to death because of words on a sheet of paper. But yeah, that's all I had to say with regard to this passage. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content, because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.